Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at something's not right here, gut feeling. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. This happened to me before cell phones were a popular item. I was jogging on this day when I noticed a car being driven extremely slow beside me. The driver was going so slow that he almost came to a full stop a few times. I always feel like a car that is as slow as you are walking is always suspicious. At first, I thought that perhaps he was lost and was looking for a street sign. Yet, my gut instinct said otherwise. As the car finally picked up speed and drove past me, I made a mental note of the car's make, model, and color. I was cresting a hill soon after the car had left my sight. This is when everything became frightening. As I began my descent down from the hill area, I saw the car again. This time, it was parked alongside the sidewalk where I usually jogged each time I ran this route. The car was facing towards me, yet nobody was in the car. Immediately, I left the sidewalk and ran out into the middle of the street. As I did this, I heard the driver screaming something at me. I wasn't able to make out what he was screaming. However, I detected anger and rage in his voice. I looked over to see him standing just off the sidewalk, in the alley. Whoa, he was waiting. He was totally waiting for her to run that way. As I ran down the middle of the street, I focused on his license plate number and repeated it over and over as I ran as fast as I could. Once I was safely home, I called 911. The police were able to make an arrest since I had memorized the guy's license plate number. He was charged with indecent exposure. Yo, this person is smart. Like, she made note of the car, the plate number, the model of the car, the color of the car. Oh my gosh. If I was panicking, I feel like I would forget all of that. I feel like this isn't the first time the guy had seen this girl jog around that area, because he totally knew like where she was gonna run and he parked his car there. Be careful, people, be careful. Decided to not get into a car with a few friends after a party in college and just drunkenly walked it home via campus and some trails. It was a nice night. I just felt like walking. Got home, fell asleep and woke up to a white-faced roommate telling me the car had gotten into a massive accident. Wait, they drove after they were drunk or what? Jeez. I've said this so many times, but please don't drive when you're drunk. Just don't do it, okay? You're putting yourself in risk and all your friends in risk too if you're driving people around. Just don't drive drunk. About 7 years ago, I was living in a downtown complex in a busy city. I got home relatively late, around 8 p.m. from work, and was waiting for the elevator when an unfamiliar guy walked up beside me. The elevator stops, we both get on, and I use my fob to select my floor. What's that? Oh, I just looked up the definition. It's a chain attached to a watch. Okay. Moving on. The guy doesn't select any floor and instantly my gut started screaming at me. The elevator doors close and I ask him what floor he's going to or if he's visiting someone in the building. He tells me he's visiting someone on the 24th floor and proceeds to stare me down in an alarmingly creepy way. My instinct was to run, but since I was trapped in the elevator, I had to think fast, and when the doors opened onto the 24th floor, I said I forgot my mail and need to ride back down. He then tells me he'll keep me company in the elevator and rides down with me. Yo, that is for sure a red flag. I get out of the elevator and text my mum to call me. As I'm pretending to struggle with my keys to open my mailbox, thankfully my mum calls me back. I proceed to speak in Polish with her, so this guy has no idea what I'm saying. I told her what was happening and she stayed on the phone with me for a good 30 minutes before this guy finally leaves the lobby and I bail and get on the elevator as soon as possible to my apartment. He was there for 30 minutes! The next day I'm on Facebook and my friend sends me a link to a news story happening in our city. I open it and the police are warning women about a guy in the area who they're trying to catch. The picture of the guy in the news story is the guy who was in the elevator with me the night before. I was paranoid for a long time after. That is so scary. Oh my gosh. I feel like elevators always make me a bit paranoid. Like, just even being on one makes me paranoid. But being on one alone with someone else, I'm sorry, I don't trust people. Especially because I've heard so many stories that are similar to this. Yo, that is creepy. He literally just waited, you know, like he was trying to do something. He was on the elevator with her and then didn't leave. I mean, if you're visiting someone, go. You don't have to accompany someone for 30 minutes just to get their mail. Jeez. Smart girl though, smart. I always feel like it's smart to call someone when you feel like you're in danger, okay? So at least someone knows where you are, you know? Like, you know. I don't know, I'm so speechless. Yo, be careful, okay? Be careful, people. This happened to my mum a few months ago. She's an Uber driver and got a request from a couple for her to drive them to the Florida Keys for $500, which is about a 5 to 6 hour drive from where we live. She was considering taking up the offer, but eventually declined because she didn't feel right about it. She then received very angry text messages from the customer and a handful of death threats. Suffice to say, she's pretty grateful for going with her gut on this one. I hope she told someone about it, because I don't want these people going into like another Uber driver and then something happens to that Uber driver. Do people really do that? Like, you pay someone to drive you 6 hours to somewhere? I guess. When I was 18, I was working a couple of nights a week in a service station. Our usual customer would be taxi drivers. This old fart took far too much interest in me, asking when I would be finishing work, how I would get home, and all that. At first, I thought he was just being kind and wanting to make sure I got home alright. But he stayed and chatted for almost the whole night, and the questions became more and more personal. I had an awful gut feeling about him, so I lied about the time I was off. Next day at work, he was extremely angry with me for not being there when he came to pick me up. After that episode, he started stalking the service station, would ambush me when I finished saying, "What a coincidence, I was just passing by. Maybe I can give you a lift home now?" That gut feeling only became stronger and stronger, and I was determined not to show him where I lived. So I lied again and again. And finally, I quit that job and never saw him again. Thank God she quit. That is creepy. Why did he get angry when she wasn't the one who told him to pick her up, you know? Jeez. Oh my gosh, that is so creepy. Like, someone just waiting to pick you up when you don't know them. That's for sure a red flag. Yo. Even kids know that, okay? Kids know not to get into strangers' cars, alright? Remember that. No matter how old you are, just don't get into a stranger's car. But then again, I guess all taxi drivers are strangers. But like, not unless you asked for it. You know what I mean? These are honestly stressing me out. When I was a kid, probably 8 or so, my mum left me and my 2 siblings, 10 and 12, at home while she went shopping. She was only supposed to be gone for an hour or so. I was reading in the front room and my brother and sister were downstairs watching TV. I heard a truck pull up to the gravel in front of our house. We had the front room curtains closed pretty much every time my mum left the house, so I didn't see anyone walk up to the front door. There was a firm knock. Flustered, I put the book down and went to the door. There was a telltale squeaky board inside in front of the door. It was so familiar to me, I don't even remember hearing it make a sound. It must have given me anyway though, because I had my hand on the doorknob when a man said, "Package delivery." I hesitated. The usual delivery guys just rang the doorbell and left. My heart was already beating pretty hard. I was a really nervous kid, so I asked, "Who is it?" He said, "I need someone to sign for this package. Are your parents home?" Being a really trusting, nervous kid from a pretty protected neighborhood, I said no. My mum's at the store and my dad's on his way home. My new friend, the delivery guy, asked, "Can you let me in so I can wait for them? I really need to deliver this today." I said something along the lines of, "No, please come back later." My mum was very clear about politeness. How polite. The next thing I know, there was a huge slam from the man trying to bust through the door. I ran downstairs immediately and tell my brother and sister what just happened. My brother runs and locks the sliding glass door. My sister closes the vertical blinds next to the TV and we grab a cordless phone and call the police. Luckily, the guys didn't manage to get into the house, and though the police didn't come as soon as I wanted them to, they did show up eventually and hung out until my mum got back. I still remember the absolutely horrified look on my mum's face when she got out of the car to a police cruiser with its lights on in front of our house. Whoa. Thank gosh for the brother and sister, they acted so quick. They were just like, "Gotta call the police right now," and they did it. Man, their parents taught them well, or someone taught them well. Honestly though, I don't even feel like this is that suspicious unless you don't order anything. Oh, but like, what if it's at the same time, you know? Like, what if it was such a coincidence that I ordered something and I was expecting it to come and then this happens, but it's not the actual delivery guy? Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm just rethinking everything now. Yo, this is making me overthink. Yo. I felt like I was being followed, so I started running, and the guy behind me started chasing me, but I got away. So I avoided a kidnapping. I don't know what could have happened. What the heck? Like, just imagine getting a gut instinct, and sometimes, you know, you tell yourself, oh, you know, it's just me. I must be overthinking. It's just me being overly paranoid. But then what if, like, it actually happens, you know? Jeez. Because most of the times when people get a gut instinct, they still have that little bit of hope that, you know, nothing's gonna be wrong. But then it happens. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!